My name is Melvis. Anyone here wants to maybe unmute their mic and talk to me about, say their name and what they do for business quite briefly. Anyone? I'd like us to start a class like that.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Ma.
My name is Mrs. Taki E. Adebayo.
Okay, Ma. Thank you so much for joining. What do you do, Ma?
I am a civil servant to the call, and also I am into small scale business. That is, I'm into production. Number one, I produce petroleum jelly, pure petroleum jelly.
Hmm.
I natural.
Hello, Ma. I don't know. I think. Hello, Ma. Can you hear me? Can every other person hear her, or can you hear me? Just to be sure that it's not from my end.
I think maybe it's network. It's network.
Okay. 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 All right. That's fine. Coach Henry, would you like to talk to us for a bit since you're here already?
Okay, repeat what you asked, what you said before, because
So I
I'm doing so. I
said,
just
what's your name and what do you do? What industry are you operating in? How's your business doing?
okay. Good evening, everyone. My name
Good
is
evening,
Christian.
sir.
Yeah, I'm a real estate consultant and also a sales coach. I help people in terms of maximizing your sales times 10, to meet up with your demand. And apart from that, I also help new home buyers or diasporas in order to secure good, reputable properties that won't be an issue for them in nearest future. Okay,
Nice,
so
nice.
that's a bit introduction about myself.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You're in real estate and you're also a sales consultant. Beautiful.
Yes,
Any other person wants to say something? I think I see Mrs. Taki back. If you're back, Odma, just unmute your mic and continue with the conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Henry. Coach Henry, I apologize.
thank you so much.
Any other person before we get right into the class? Hi, Mr. Godfred. Mr. Joshua, kindly unmute your mic.
Hello.
I can hear you, sir. Please go on. I can hear you if you can hear me, sir.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, my name is Godfred Joshua Chimbike, and I am in the automotive industry. I
Okay.
am a sales rep or sales executive for Kojo Motors. Uh,
Kojo Motors. Okay, Kojo Motors. Okay.
yeah, I'm a sales executive, and I also have my own business, car retail business.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir. All right. So I'm assuming that that will be all for now. Let's get right into the class. Thank you so much, everyone. Right. So the strategy factory today we'll be taking the introductory class for the Lean Simple Strategy Factory. Now, if you were here about 10-15 minutes before I got on, I was playing a couple of testimonial videos from people that have attended Strategy Factory in the past. And these people, I beg to say, are industry experts, and not one of them is doing less than 1 billion in revenue as of today. And beautiful thing is, all these people started off from attending an introductory class, taking this first session that we're about to go through, before now physically attending the event itself at a hotel and suites, right? So this first intro class that is for free is our way of getting businesses that are probably new into business or are trying to scale to about their first 500 million with some free insights on how they can do that. Having in mind too that they would in the coming months be willing to invest in their business and maybe want to come for the strategy factory itself. Now, having said that, let us get right into the first slide that I have today for us. I did say earlier on that this is an intro class to the Lim Simple Strategy Factory, but I don't think I quite believe that everyone here has or knows what we are. So I'm going to say that Lim Simple is an acronym for Live Investing Money and Business Made Simple. We actually are partners with the Institute of Management Specialists in the UK. So that means that if you come for the Strategy Factory on Friday, the 25th of this month, you're going to get a certification that is certified by the by the Institute of Management Specialists in the UK. Now, we have over time created the Lim Simple Business Academy, which is an umbrella where the Lim Simple Strategy Factory, the Lim Simple Mastermind, the Lim Simple Strategy Grid Convention, and our one-on-one coaching falls under. So these are the 4 different tiers that you can engage with us as a company. Over the course of time, about a decade and counting, we've been able to work with a couple of the businesses that you see on your screen. Just let me confirm. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, 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 yes.
All right, great. So we have worked with a lot of the businesses that you see, which spans from real estate to automobiles to the federal government, to banking and finance, what have you. We've worked with them. Now, I am saying this to say that a lot of the conversations we'll be having are conversations that we have had over the course of working with these businesses. So their strategies or their mindset changes that have helped, a lot of businesses transform how they do business. And then it's also helped entrepreneurs or first-time business owners make better decisions in their business. Our head coach is Mr. Ezekiel Shelesi. He was inducted into the Forbes Council sometime in 2023. Phenomenal man. I'm very sure that probably I've heard a couple of things, of him talking. And if you had, then if you do come for the Strategy Factory, you get to have access to him for 10 hours and even afterwards, almost for the course of your life. We've over time worked with about 4,000 businesses, and 52 of them right now do $1 billion in revenue. And all of these businesses, like I said earlier on, started first by attending the Strategy Factory, just like you are right now. So that's how much value the next 1 hour means for your business. So to get right into what we'll be talking about today, I'd like us to take a couple of minutes first to think about what we really want, right? The first 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, we're going to really itemize what you want from life, what you want from your business, and what happiness truly would mean to you. Because a full understanding of this would help us analyze how exactly we should, work towards our goal. If we have to work towards it urgently, if we have to work towards it on a grand scale, or if we really have a lot of time, or we're already doing the right things right now. So what do we really want? Because you'd agree with me that if you do not establish what you want, then anything is going to look like what we want. Anything is going to make sense, right? And it's important because with life, when we start out knowing exactly what is for us. If you talk to a primary school student, right, maybe before their career day, you'd hear him affirmatively say, I want to be a governor, or I want to be a tech bro, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a scientist. And they hold on to this dream very strongly because they actually believe it. The thing, however, with life is that as they continue, life starts to give them a little more than they can handle. And I'll give us a very vivid example, right? If you schooled in Nigeria, you say that I wanted to study, say, medicine. And then for some people, they write JAM once, twice, 2 times, 3 times, and then they realize that maybe microbiology is not entirely a bad course, right? I'm still in the science field. Did this happen to anybody here? Because it has happened to a lot of Nigerians. I'm very sure. Anyone here? Anyways, moving on. So we start out wanting the things that we really want, but then life happens and then we have to settle for the things that we think is attainable. But if you start out life like that and you don't, over the course of the time, I realize what life is giving to you and figure out how to align that with what you currently have, then you find out that you probably will not be living your best life. You will not be living the life that actually makes you happy, right? So the truth with life is that every decision that we make, and the reason why we start off first having this conversation about our mindset and how we intend to, go for the things we really want, is that with business, right? As things become very difficult, oftentimes we decide to change the idea itself instead of modifying it. We can switch the plan. We can't change the plan. We can't change the goal. We shouldn't change the goal. We should change every other thing to help us get that goal. And how do we do that? By making intentional decisions, because life is compounding, right? The very little thing you do today makes you a better salesperson tomorrow. The books you read today makes you a better conversationalist tomorrow, which means that you are able to even close better deals later in the future. Life compounds. So I'll give you a very vivid example, right? So let's say, and I'm asking everybody, I'd like everyone to, contribute to this. So let's say that I tell you that I will give you $5 million cash, or I'll give you a magic 1 cent coin that is going to double every day for 31 days. I'll take that again. 2 options. I give you $5 million cash, or I give you a magic 1 cent coin that every day I am multiplying for 31 days. Which would you take? Anyone?
Okay, I'm going with the magic coin.
Okay, you mind telling me why?
Okay, because the magic coin, I'm considering it of a great value that it can give me something beneficial with what I desire. Since it has to work with my intention, this is what I want. At least within that 1 day, I might be able to get exactly what I desired. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, sir. I totally agree with you, and I'll tell you why I agree with you. But then there's no wrong answers and there are no right answers. So another person wants to say their own thoughts.
I will also go for the hello.
Hi, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. I will also go for the coin because some understanding of compound interest. So the
Mm-hmm.
coin at the end of the 31 day will have produced more to the lump sum. But it's I think it's also depending on the understanding of how this thing works. I feel like one of that at the once can do a lot. But if you understand the compound interest very well, then the magic coin makes sense.
All right, thank you. So, I think we're going to we have quite an understanding of what I'm trying to do here. I find that some people, for obvious reasons, maybe for a lack of trust in the system, maybe for a lack of full foresight, would say, "Oh, I'd rather go for the $5 million because I mean that's what's physically available, and I'll take what is certain, right?" But in the real sense, if that person takes that, that person would have lost $5.5 million in the next 30 days. If they took the $5 million, right? If they, however, took the 1 cent coin that is constantly multiplying, they would have made $105 million in 30 days. So my question then would be, Would you rather the certainty that comes with, doing nothing or choosing to do as little as possible? Or would you rather the abundance that comes with actually choosing to intentionally risk, making decisions in life? That's up to you, right? But clearly, it's a better financial decision to invest or to take the multiplying, compounding sense. The reason why I had that conversation with us is because, again, all of this is to help us identify what mindset it is that we're using to go into. Oh my God, I totally forgot that I wasn't recording this class. So I'm just going to right now tap record. Oh, it's recording already. Thank you. Yinka, I think you already started recording for me, or someone already started recording. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, because we find that some people would rather want a recording sent to them if they're unable to attend, and we like to have that available for them. Great. So the reason why we're having this conversation, like I said earlier on, is because we want to identify the mindset with which we are doing business, right? So I'm going to ask you, what do you want in life? Are you trying to make a lot of money because you want financial freedom? You want to be able to contribute to society, you want peace of mind, you want ease? Or are you trying to do that because you want good health? And good health is quite expensive. I'm not even going to lie to you. Or do you want to build an asset? If you currently right now stay in an apartment that is for rent, you know that you're adequately making some other person a lot richer. And that's not a problem. The only thing is that person was intentional about what they wanted, which is building wealth for themselves at a point where they are probably retiring in style. So you're helping someone while renting their apartment live the life of their dream, which is retirement in style. Or you could choose that what you want is good quality education for yourself or for your children. And one thing I've found over time, right, working this job is that a lot of times it's more important who the children know, the school and the quality of the education that they went through. That sometimes is more important than the grades that they graduate with. Because the prospect that somewhere in your child's lifetime, it is possible that they were in attendance or classmates with the then, president or governor or, something from their own school. The access, the networking opportunities that you give your children over time sometimes is more important than actually getting them to go to school. So this is another reason why people actively want to make money, actively want to go into business, actively want to do business and do it the right way. So I'm going to give us right now a couple of seconds to think. If you're already in business, does your business purpose cover any or all of this? And if it doesn't, then why are you in business? Because this answer would be the propeller for the days where you don't feel like standing up, the days where it feels like everything is crumbling, the days where it feels like your strategy isn't working. These are the reasons that will get you to still put in the work and hope for the very best. Right? So having said that, let us now talk about us in the room. Everyone in this room, I assume, are entrepreneurs. Is there any one of us that doesn't have a business of our own or that works primarily as for someone else? I'd like to know who we have in the room right now. Is everyone in the room an entrepreneur, or a couple of us work for big businesses? Okay, in the absence of an answer, I'm just going to continue. Now, one thing I want us to establish first off is that an employee, if you work for someone, is an entrepreneur with just one client, and that client is your boss. And the reason why that client is your boss, you probably do not know that you actually are servicing a client. Let me tell you when you find out. Is that when your services are no longer required, or when you're no longer meeting up to your quota, or you're not doing your best on the job, you're going to get a mail or you're going to get a physical letter that says, unfortunately, we no longer require your services and you are your services have been terminated, that's when you realize that, oh wow, I was actually a business owner servicing another client, which is your employer. And if you're a business owner, you are an entrepreneur with many clients. So that means you have a lot of people that you service, or you have a lot of people that buy your products, right? Those are the two types of entrepreneurs I'm assuming that we have in this room. And with that in mind, I'd like us to go straight up into module one for the session. Because this is a strategy session, it's a business oriented class, right? I'd like us to start first with what I think you would define a business as, right? So I'd like anyone that wants to unmute their mic and explain to me what they think a business means to them. There are no wrong answers here and there are no right answers here, because if you have been in business for 1 month, 4 years, 15 years, you already have a grasp of what a business should be. I do not even care if your business actually is in line with the definition that you gave, but the fact that you know what it should mean is important to me. And then after this, I'm going to show you the definition that I go by, which is not my definition, but which is the best definition that I have ever seen in the world. So let's start with your definition. Anyone wants to let me know what they think a business means? Please. Anyone? Can you unmute your mic? All right. In the absence of any answers, I'd say straight up that a business, according to Josh Kaufman, is a repeatable process that, number one, creates and delivers something of value that other people want or the customer's needs and expectations, so that the business brings in enough profits to make it worthwhile for the owners to continue operations. In the next 45 minutes, we are going to break down these definitions into pieces. Because if your business is able to tick all 5 of these definitions, then I promise you that you're going to be in business for a very long time. And you'll be in a business that is a thriving, growing, successful business.
Vitamin C. Vitamin C.
Please kindly mute your mic. Can you unmute your mic, everyone? Sorry, kindly mute your mic. What am I saying? Miss Gold Dominion, can you please mute your mic?
I'm big already. I said no. I said what I said. Oh, bring my precious.
Hello.
I'll give you what's now. Come to mama. My.
All right. So I already muted the person. Great. So let's move on now to understanding how this definition would essentially help us with our business. The first thing that we want to identify is how valuable are your offers, right? Remember that we said that a business is a repeatable process that, number one, delivers and creates something of value. And value in this sense, right? We're not just talking about the money worth of your product. It's about the viability of either the service that you offer or the product itself. And there are very simple ways to know if your business is viable. That's if you have not even started it, if you should actually even go into it. And if you're in business already, how can you profit off the viability of your business? A couple of ways that we have figured out that you can identify this is, number one, does that business serve a huge expanding market? So I'll give you an instance, right? Is it in a shrinking market or it's in a market that is growing? So a couple of years ago, right? Anyone here ever went into a cyber cafe to browse or to use Facebook? Anyone here?
Yes.
Great, right? Now in maybe 2012, 2014 thereabouts. It was a great business model to have a cyber cafe, right? But right now, as much as there are a lot more Nigerians on the internet, is it a great business idea to create a cyber cafe shop today? No,
No, no.
definitely, because that market has shrunk, because it has grown past that capacity. So my question then would be, if businesses like Microsoft have moved out from being into computing business and have now slowly gone into AI and gaming, because that the computing market now is obviously shrinking, it means then that you should be willing to build a business that is big enough, right? But it's not bigger than the industry that you are operating in, especially if you do not have the lion's share of that industry. If the industry you're operating, you are the one that controls the most customers, you have the most leverage, then by all means, that's great. But if you're in an industry that there are so many other competitors, right? But it is a small industry that can easily be taken off, or that can easily be shrinked by maybe any government regulations, or maybe a lack in a rise or a fall in dollar. All of that are variables that you want to consider to confirm if you are going to be in business for a long time. The second thing would be, can you build that your product? Can you build that your service into a unique product? And by unique, we mean, are you unique by your selling, or are you unique by your proposition? Or is that service that you have something that no other person can offer? Right? So the question here for us would be, how are you going to move people from the product category to actually wanting just you? How do you move them from saying, I want to buy a phone, the way iPhone has done it, to I want to buy an iPhone? And not just that I want to buy an iPhone, I want to buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max. The moment you're able to itemize how to get people to want just you than any other person, then you have something that is unique. And how do we think that you can do that? It's quite simple. Number one is you could choose to give extreme value. Number two is that you could choose to position yourself as a luxury servicer in your industry. Number three is that you could choose to decide that, okay, I'm going to be catering to the people that need this service but are not able to get it at this luxurious rate, right? I'm going to try to serve the masses. Or you're going to say, I want to deliver on quantity, serve the people that want quantity, or I want to serve the people that want quality, because you can't sell to everybody. Okay, I'm so sorry. Just give me a second. I'm trying to understand what that was. Right, because you can't actually sell to everybody. You have to identify who your unique market audience is, so that you can now identify how to market to them, particularly how to get them to know you, want you, like you, so that it helps you shift between the dust and the actual, services, the actual customers that want your service. The third thing would now be, is your business in its time? Look, this one, right, is very, very important, because the time between, for instance, I'm going to give you a very good example. Before now, right, did anybody know that before Facebook, right, on social media, there was High Five and there was MySpace? Okay, let me give another example. Before there was Jumia, there was OLX, there was everything. Does anybody know that one? No one knows any of these things. That's weird. But
Yeah.
anyways, well, great, right? This is familiar to someone, right? But the question now is, where are those businesses right now?
They're an
Oh,
extinction
they're
now.
not. Sorry?
They're an extinction now. Extinction.
Thank you. Do you know why? It's because they entered the market at a point when the business idea was not in its time. Because the time between when you enter the market and when the market picks up is called an education period for you. And I promise you, educating an industry is so expensive. It's so expensive, right? That the government itself understands how difficult it is. So I'll give you a very vivid example. If you know when telecommunications started in Nigeria, right? There was MTN and there was Econet.
Yeah.
Econet is now the current Airtel, right?
Yeah.
Now, the government realized that educating the market is so expensive that they have a law that when you come in first into an industry, like you have pioneer status in that industry, you are able to go for 10 years tax free. For 10 years, not paying any tax. Because they know that for those 10 years, what do you have to do? Educate the market. Let people know why this product that they need is what that they want is important. Let people know that they need this service. And so what the MTN used to edge out Econet then, because now Econet has now sold from being Econet to being Zain to being Airtel to being a lot. I think before Airtel, there was something else again. But anyways, the reason why MTN was able to do that is because they had 10 years free tax, right? That they didn't have to pay anything. So the money that they would have used now into paying the taxes, they put that back into the business, back into educating the market, and that's the edge they had over over every other network provider. And now look at someone now like Glow, right? He did not wait. Adenuga did not say, okay, because MTN, telecommunication is the next big thing, I'm just going to jump into it. No, he waited for MTN, for Econet to do the education of the market. And now he now comes in at the point where, oh, it is actually understood that this is a service that you're going to need, right? This is an indigenous one by Nigeria. So he didn't have to spend as much money educating the market as the two other mobile networks had to do, which means that he had so much money now to pump into the business. So if you're currently in an industry that is picking up, that is not very known, or you're trying to think about solving a problem now that people do not know that they have, but you know that they will need they will need solution to that problem in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, hold on starting that business. Keep it in the pipeline. Do something else that can help you fund that business when it comes. In fact, allow somebody else to start the business. And then what you do now is make whatever they have done better than they have done it. You should now be a master at execution, not even a master at conceptualization. If the business you're currently into or you have started is not in its time. And the next thing we actually want to understand then would be, the next thing we actually want to now look at is, does that business give you leverage? Remember that we agreed in the beginning, right? Now the reason why a lot of us want to make money is because we want freedom. We want, a retirement in style. We want some level of comfort. The question then would be, whatever business you're getting into or that you're in right now, how much leverage does it give you? How much freedom would it offer you right now and in the time to come? How much can you mark up, right, in your profits? Because sometimes in a life, if the lifespan of a business is short, you might be able to get started, and you might not need to over time keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. So my question now is, if your business is one that you cannot create process and procedures in a way that you're able to leave the business and allow the business to run independently on its own, then maybe you want to make money from that business right now and get that money into a business that can grow to the point that you do not constantly have to toil day in, day out for it to grow. Right? Does that make sense?
Not at
Because
all.
again, go back, thank you. Because again, let's go back again to why we said what a business is, right? Something that creates value, something that other people want or need, and at a price that they are willing to pay. So my offer then would be, how needed are your offers? Because we said now that for your business to grow, it has to be something that solves a need for people, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you're in business now, what problem does your business solve? I need someone to unmute their mic so we can actually understand this thoroughly. If someone actually says right now, oh, I'm a real estate person. Oh, great. You sell real estate. My first question then would be, who is your target audience? Are you trying to sell real estate to the rich, or are you trying to sell real estate to the poor? Okay. Yes, because I believe that there's no middle class in Nigeria right now. We're either rich or we're poor. Simple.
Okay.
That's true. So my question then,
Oh, okay. So
so my
sorry, I
question,
was thinking you asked a question. That's why I'm mute. Okay.
oh, okay, please. Oh, no, please, let's go. Let's have that conversation.
Okay. So your question was what need is our problem solving at it as
It's your
different.
business covering. Exactly.
Okay, so I would say for myself, right? So for me, I'm a professional interior designer. So I'm in the industry of interior designing.
Okay.
So, and of course, my interior design, my target audience, and people that I want to solve their problems are not like average people. So, I'm looking at the HNIs, people who want tastefully finished interior solutions, and of course, the problem my company is solving to the solutions we are providing to those people's problem now is that number one, they don't have the time, so we
Okay.
are bringing in the time, and of course, they want good quality. They want durability. They want longevity, and they want people with integrity to work with. So these are the gaps we are bridging in, and with working with them, we give them all of this, making their time useful to them when they're at work. We are at the site working with artisans, making sure that everything stated on the 3D is what we are executing there. So it's the problem of not insufficient time, one, and not having and of course trust. Because if they say they want to do those things themselves, they might get into wrong artisans' hand who can, post them with their money or eat their money or not deliver what they are actually paid for. But with us now, which is the company, they work with us. They know that they have their trust, they have their time. They're not, speaking to a just random O-level person. They're speaking with professionals and all of that. So yeah, I think that answered your question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you one more area that you probably have not thought about, right? Because we work with we currently work with two interior decorators that are doing 1 billion in revenue, right? I'm not going to call names because that's rather unethical. But one thing I want you to think about right now then would be, first off, what's your brand communication strategy like? How are you communicating to these high network individuals? How is your brand positioned across all your social media platforms to ensure that you are talking to primarily these people? That's number one. Number two then would be, do you understand too that as much as you are trying to get high network clients that want you to work on their products, you want them to commission their constructions to you, what you also want to think about is that there are high network individuals that are also looking for these skill sets that you offer. So are you looking towards now also creating a system that works, that you're able to teach these high network individuals that are looking for an extra skill to get on how they can become professional high network interior decorators like you? That's a
Yeah.
totally untapped market that you want to start to explore. Because if, for instance, you create a class where people are willing to pay 1 million naira per month for 3 sessions, for you to teach them how to interior design, right? And you have about 5, 10 clients every month. While you are waiting and trying to finish up a project, you have marked up whatever you would have made on commission on that project on just 3 sessions of teaching.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you
Of
understand
course,
me?
yes, yeah, that's right. Of course, that's why we came up with a class right now. Of course, there is this individual because he works with Lagos State government and he always get like gigs and all of that. So she wants to learn interior designing from our company to be able to get those gigs, like a kind of freelancer. I don't know how she wants to do it, but it's actually like what you are saying also. So she's willing to pay any amount to learn from the best to be able to also work for herself and also get clients to also come back to us and collaborate. Yeah, I think we're
Thank
working on that one. Yes,
thank
first.
you.
Yes,
So,
because it's like another source of income
thank you. So
for us while we're waiting
you
for
have
the project.
itemized that your services are expensive, right? The question then is, are you communicating that luxury to them? Then how do you want to diversify the services that you're offering? Anyways, but thank you very much for that. I hope that you found value from this conversation. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Again, we said that a business is defined by being able to serve people what they want and what they need, and now at a price that they are willing to pay. Now, I'd like to start this first off with saying that nothing, absolutely nothing, is too expensive or too cheap. What you need to know is exactly how to sell. And what that means is how to sell to people at the different points of their needs. A lot of us, of the needs that humans want, first of all, start with our psychological needs. Every human being needs air, water, food, shelter, and clothing. These are the non-negotiable that every human needs. Right? And at very varying degrees, they are willing to pay as much money as possible. Your job now, right, as a business owner is to identify on what part of this pyramid does my business fall in. And when you itemize that, the next thing you want to know now is to be able to sell that service that they need to them. Because at the end of the day, right, people are not necessarily buying things based on the price that you're selling it. They are buying things based on the value that they think that offer gives to them. Your job now is to understand what it is that they want and sell it to them how they want it. People have conversations in their head. As much as we like to feel like, oh, we make all our decisions based on logic, half of the decisions we make is based on our emotions. The question then would be, when people see your brand, when you pick up the phone and you're talking to your clients, how do you make that client feel? Do you leave them satisfied? Because a lot of the times with businesses, right? I like to confirm if anybody agrees with me. A lot of businesses don't grow because of a lack of new customers. A lot of businesses fail because of the absence of proper customer service, customer care, proper client retention, protocol for you to retain the people that you have and retain them to the point that they are willing to start to recommend other people to patronize your service. If you decide right now that, okay, I'm not going to run ads for another 3-4 months because I have about 50 people that have patronized me in the past 30 days. My question then would be, how well have you serviced these people to the point that they are willing to now say, this person is so good at their job that I want to now get another person to patronize them? Or I'm so proud of being this person's client that I am now going to now start to tell other people about their service. Your goal is to get to your business to the point where you're operating at a level where people are now proud to use you, right? The way, for instance, people are proud to use an iPhone. People are proud to be associated with certain brands. You want your brand to get to that point where it is a thing of pride for them. I just wanted to be sure. Hello, Mrs. Starkey. Can you hear me? Because I see that you've been going on and off the class. Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, ma. I'm
Okay,
hearing you.
I
I'm
want to
available.
confirm. I want to confirm, right? Your name looks very, very familiar. And you said you're in the civil service, right? So I'm just going to ask one question. Any chance that you're in NYC, ma?
Ma?
I said you did say that you're into the civil service, right?
Yes.
Any chance, ma, that you are in NYC?
No. No.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I just wanted to confirm because I have a Mrs. Taki that is a family friend that is, in service. Anyways, thank you very much, ma. It's glad to have you back. We couldn't really
Yes.
get the info that you were trying to share earlier on, but maybe over the course of the class we could get back to
Eh,
that.
Hello. Hello.
I can hear you. I can hear you, ma.
Presently, they are calling me for another meeting. That is why you see me
Oh,
shifting.
that's fine.
Yes. You will
That's
get to know. You will get to know my product when you use my spice to cook. You will love it.
Oh, interesting. Are you in
Mm.
Lagos, ma?
Yes. State
Oh,
secretary.
State Secretariat. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I probably would jump on a call with you tomorrow to, talk in depth about your business. Would you like that?
Yes, I will.
All right then.
But preferably early in the morning between 7, 8, 9.
Okay, 9 o'clock works perfectly for me. Just maybe leave your number on the chat box so that I can pick it up after the class.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Great. So I was saying before that the most important thing that you want to start to do is to create a situation where your clients want you, need you, and know you enough that they trust you to recommend you to the next person. Now, how profitable is your business? How profitable is your business? Because the truth is, the profits are the cost of the future. And the reason why this is important is because wealth, money, is measured in time and actually not in number. I give you a very clear example. There are people right now, right, that they are 26, 27, 28, that haven't become millionaires yet. The possibility of that person becoming a millionaire in the next 20 years is greater than the chance of an 80 years old man to become a millionaire. Does anybody agree with me?
Yes, yes.
Take that again.
Yes, sure.
Sure, right? Great. Because the profit that you make today is dependent on how much time you have in your hands. The next thing we want to consider now is why you have this much time. How much knowledge do you have invested in you? Knowledge about your product, knowledge about your company, your organization, if you sell a service, knowledge about yourself and your emotional stability, enough for you to be able to sell that product. Because with selling, right? Selling is a transfer of certainty. It's a I know exactly what this product do. It's like what Mrs. Taki said earlier on. She said, when you use my products, you will love it. She's transferring that certainty that she has in her brand to me. That's the first thing I have heard, right? So now I like to cook, right? So now I want to know, okay, does her black pepper taste spicier than the black pepper that I'll buy from the mall? If she's so sure, can she give me some form of guarantee that if I buy it and it's not the best, on my next offer, she's going to give me a 20% discount? Because what I'm buying right now is the certainty that she has that product is going to deliver the best experience for me. So my question then would be, if time is the real wealth, and if you don't have the entirety, if for instance you had 500 years to live, and you decide that I'm not going to do anything I'm just going to chill for the first 200 years, and then in the next 300 years I'll use the information that I have gotten in those 200 years to make shitload of money in the next 300 years I'm going to live. That's beautiful, right? But the lifespan of a typical Nigerian is about 70 to 80. And if you're past 30, you're already past the first half of your life. So time that you have right now is the most important commodity that you have. The question, however, is time is constantly passing. And what makes it even worse is that we spend so much time doing a lot of things that we don't spend time calculating the real things that are pulling us back or that are pushing us forward into making the best, from our finances or the best from our life. So this what I have on my screen is a really quick activity that I like to have people do, because it gives them an insight of exactly what it is that's either making them the most money or that is making them lose the most money. And what I found is that by the time people get to the end of this class, when they get to number 11 and they do the total, they start to realize why their business isn't growing and what their business needs to do if it is supposed to grow. So I'm going to ask that, if you can,
Sorry, I, I don't know if the slide can be zoomed in. It's not very clear
it's not
over here.
clear. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let me
No,
see
that's
what
fine.
I do. Okay. Give me a minute. Is this a little better? Sorry.
It's better. It's better now.
Better like this now. Oh, that's gone
Oh,
back in.
okay.
Yeah, much
Because
better.
the truth is that, okay, I'm just going to move it this way. Okay, so is this better now?
Yes, yes.
All right, great. So the first thing on my list then is rent. Can we see this? Can you
Yes,
all
we
still
can
see my
see it.
screen?
We can see it.
All right, great. So the first thing on my screen is rent, right? What we're trying to do with this is to understand how much you spend per month on the very little things that we spend the most money on. And if you stay in your own apartment, your own you don't have to pay rent, then you can skip this, right? But if you pay rent, what I need you to do now is think about how much you pay per year, and you can have it right there as your yearly rent. This is for you. You're not going to tell me what figure you have. When you're just done calculating, just write done in the chat. So if you pay maybe say 500,000 naira in rent per year, which I strongly do not think is possible, I need you to divide that 500,000 naira by 12 months. That's how much you have to pay monthly. When you do that, just write RE done. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I think it's clear.
Okay, so take your time, do the calculation. I'm trying to get us out of here by 7:15. So if you're done with rent, just write RE done in the chat box. Anyone? RE done. I'd like us to, because I want to take everyone along with me. Come on. I know it's taking quite a while, but if you're done calculating rent, please write RE done.
Okay, so from my own end, I think I had network glitch a little, so I didn't get the activity that
Okay.
we're asked to do.
So I said that, right? Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you from my own end now.
All right, great. So I said that what we're trying to do right now is to identify what's costs you the most money and what could be the reason why you're making so much money but you don't know what it's going to in your business. Or in your personal life, you're making so much money, but it seems like you're still your finances are still redundant. So let's understand exactly what we're doing first off. Then at the end of this activity, I'm going to tell you why this activity is the most important thing that you could actually do for your business. Right? So
I don't know if I'm the only one. Oh, wow.
Same here.
I'm not sure I can hear you again. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Yeah, same here. I can hear it. I can hear it.
I hear anything again also.
You know, let us hang in there. That should be network. She'll join us soon. Please hang in there.
hello, can everyone hear me?
We lost you for a
Yes,
bit
we
now.
can hear you now.
Yes, I was logged out of the class. I don't know why. My
We
internet
can
is
hear
very
you.
short. I'm so sorry.
You're welcome.
All right, great. So, like I said earlier, I did say that I wanted us to calculate how much we spend in rent and divide that by 12. And when you do that, just write RE done.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
Yes. RE done when you've calculated how much you make in rent, how much you spend in rent monthly. So if you earn salary, what this could mean for you then is when you make this calculation, oh, every month I can take out, say, 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira or a million naira every month. If I do that for the next 12 months, I have my rent already ready. So you don't have to start waiting for the end of the month to start, going through all of that. Okay. I'm just waiting for as much people to write RE done so that I can get on to the next thing. All right. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. Mr. Ryan, I think I know you. The name sounds quite familiar. All right, great. So as you do your calculations, just write done based on where we are on. But please, I would love for everyone, if you can, right, to do this. It would drastically change the course of your life. I promise you. Right, to be sure, can everyone still see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I can
Great.
see
So
it.
the next thing I want us to do now is transportation. Now, a lot of us have our own cars, and I'm assuming that we know how much it costs us to fill up our tanks. Could be 70K, could be 120K, could be 150K, whatever it is. That's how much it costs you to fill up your car per week. Calculate that per 4 weeks, right? Or by 30 days. That's how much you spend on filling your fuel for the month. Now, if you don't have a car and you use public transport, right? How much does it take you to spend to wherever you're going to when you take the buses? How much would it take you to and fro? Calculate that per day and multiply that by the number of times that you have to take the bus. If you use a ride, let's say per day you spend, say, 7,000 naira to 7,000 naira through, that's 14,000 naira. Multiply that by the number of times that you have to go to work, or by the number of times you have to engage in an activity that makes you money. That is how much you spend on transportation. Please do that for yourself and let me know when you're done. Just write TP done. I hope that one is clear. TP done when you're done. Take your time. I'm gonna wait. TP done. More, please. TP done, please. Any other person? Is it really taking us a lot of time to calculate that? Anyways, if no one is joining me, I'm just going to go ahead with it real quick, right? So let's do utility. Utility is your light bill, your estate dues, your cable TV, your Hulu, your Netflix, your YouTube, your Amazon Prime, all of that. Calculate how much you spend on all of these services per month, and then that's your utility bill for the year, for the month, sorry. So if you're on that one with me, please just write UT done. UT done if we're done with that.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Okay, so if you're done, please just write it on the group so that I know how many people are like going along. All right. The next thing then would be feeding costs. Now, feeding costs is not the money for groceries. It's the money that you spend for just being, eating out at work, lounging with the friends, that suya, the shawarma, the cafe, just little expenses. Those are your feeding costs. How much do you think you spend per day? And multiply that by 30 days. Do you think you spend per month? Write that down for yourself. I'm going to give us a couple of seconds to do that, and then I'll move on next to groceries. If you're done with feeding costs, just let me know feeding costs done. Don't have to write it, just say it's done. Is anyone following me? Okay, I guess that I'm on here. I'm just going to run it through. Now, the next thing we want to discuss then will be groceries. Groceries would be how much you spend on housekeeping and the things for the house. So it's the bulk of your spending. Toiletries, food stuff, the yam, the gari, the eba, everything. This is where your money goes into. It's always a huge, most chunk that people spend money on. So how much do you think you roughly spend on groceries? Please write that for yourself. Next then will be school fees. Per child for the 3 terms, how much is that? multiply that by the number of children that you have. If you don't have children, that's fine. But school fees still will entail how much you spend on personal development and on learning, right? So how much are you spending for, say, for instance, you're coming for the strategy factory on Friday, the last Friday of the month, or the 25th. How much are you going to spend for the strategy factory? That's 300,000 naira, right? That's also a learning cost for yourself. So how much would you say you spend on it? Please write that for yourself. The next thing then would be personal expenses. So if you're a woman, personal expenses would be like maybe lash extension, your nail session, your massage sessions, a new wig for yourself, a new dress for yourself. That would be personal expenses. If you're a man, maybe your tire maintenance, your car maintenance, you know, Hennessy XO with the guys sometime over the weekend, just something, right? That is personal expense. How much do you think you spend on that per month? Make a mental, calculation for yourself. Just want to confirm, can everyone hear me still?
Loud and clear.
All right, great. So if you've calculated how much you spend on that, the next thing we want to know is childcare expense. A childcare expense is not school fees. It's every other thing that you have to buy for your child. So the toys for your child, little gifts for your child, birthday cake here and there, clothing for your children. Decide how much it is that you spend in childcare and write that for yourself per month. Next thing then we'll do is communication. How much do you think you're spending in data and airtime? I promise you your money is there. How much do you spend in data and airtime? Do the math. And if you have done that, let's talk about giving, right? Giving here would include your tithes, your offering, motherless baby homes, the people that, are on your monthly pay. Every month they ask you for money. How much is that? Calculate that. The next thing we want to do next would be other expenses. Other expenses could be anything that I did not include that you think you spend money on. Let me know what that is. Write how much you think that would be. So I'm assuming that a lot of us got to this point of the activity, and if you did, what's your figure looking at? What's the number like for you? What's the total? Anyone here? Because here's why we took that class, right? That's why we took the activity. The question here for us would be, does your business pay that amount, the amount you have as a total? Does your business pay you that amount as salary? I'd like someone to unmute their mic and answer this question if possible. The amount that you will have on your paper now as your total, does your business pay you that amount as salary?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Now you see that we have been living on miracle, not the tire Jesus.
Yes, so miracle, not the tire Jesus. So.
And the reason why this is happening is because a lot of these bills don't happen at the same time. Maybe you pay school fees beginning of January, you're not paying another one until sometime in July, you're not paying another one sometime in September. You don't actually now see that this money is is something that you have to monthly start to put into consideration. But the bigger question, because not everyone here is a parent, right? But everyone here is a business person, like we decided in the beginning of this class. The biggest question I want to ask you now is this: how big does your business need to get to be able to pay 20 people in your organization such an amount monthly? It's not paying you the money. That's okay. That's fine. That's already a problem, Abby. The problem now is, how big do you need to be as a company for you to be able to pay 20 people, say maybe 4 million naira per month? How big do you need to be? Because that's how big I need you to think about when I asked from the beginning, what do you really want? This is how big you need to think. So I'm going to ask again. Everyone here, do we have the mindset that our business is going to get this big? When we talked in the earlier part of this class, and I said, what do you want? Did we think that we want a business that is going to be able to pay our staff the amount that we have on our book right now, or on your phone, or whatever you use to calculate? Because if you did not, then that's a problem. Okay, and with that said, we have actually come to the end of the introductory class of the Strategy Factory. Like I said, the Strategy Factory, what we just handled now, is the intro part of the class. The main class happens on the last Friday of the month. And here's what the class actually offers you, right? It offers you, first of all, 9 modules around marketing, strategy, how to process your business, people, processes, and control, proper market analysis, how to identify what is working in your business, and how to actually now apply that to your own business, how to deal with high network individuals, how to identify if your business is built to last, understanding business networking, and understanding how to actually sell, right? This session was going to also offer you, for the sum of 300,000 naira, and to be fair, I think I can give a discount to 270 based on the fact that we are attending, right? Based on the fact that we're attending the introductory class. Now, when you attend the Strategy Factory, you get, number one, access to the live class for live for the 10 hours. It's a 10 hours class at a hotel. First of all, we're going to give you tea break and lunch on us. You get access to the 10-hour class. I know some of us think, oh, it's going to take a lot of time. 10 hours is too long for me to stay in the class. But here's what we always tell people. We have a money back guarantee that if you stay in the class for 10 hours and at any point you feel really tired or you feel bored, we could refund you your money. Not we could. I would refund you your money if during the class, at any point of the session, you feel rather lethargic. And then at that same 270,000 naira, you also get access to the Strategy Factory recording for live. I already said that. You get access to our alumni community. We have an alumni community, like I said earlier on, of 4,500 businesses that have gone through the Strategy Factory. And out of them, about 52 of them now do 1 billion in revenue. What this means practically is that every Wednesday, you get the opportunity to talk about your business, whether virtually over like a recorded message, or post a video about your company or about your product on this platform where we have all of these people in. And that's like very easy business market for you. Easy access to high network individuals that can patronize your service. You also get access to our industry specific groups. So we understand that there are so many sectors, right? So what we have done is that we have divided businesses into different industries: real estate, interior decoration, banking, finance, whatever we have different industries for that. So you're going to be added to the industry that you particularly work in. And then what we do is that every month we bring up an industry expert in that industry that is doing a minimum of 1 billion in revenue and above, to talk to businesses in that industry about what has been working for them. open up sort of like a mentorship opportunities for businesses like yours now to look up to them, to network with them and know what to do to grow your own business to the point that they are. You also get strategy session, a one-on-one consultation session with our in-house consultants to identify what is working in your business, how can we grow it. What is your target? I'm doing 500 million in revenue, right? My next goal right now is to get to 800 million in revenue. What we do now is that we have a one-on-one consultation session with our in-house consultants. If you're attending virtually, you actually even get 2 consultations with our consultants. If you're attending physically, aside from the 10 hours that you have access to and the access to Mr. Ezekiel, you still get one-on-one coaching with our consultant to help you practicalize what you have learned and help you create custom strategies to help your business grow. Right? Now, this is what you get for just a token of 270,000 naira if you decide to participate at the to come for the strategy factory. Now, very recently, what we also started to do is that we have a winning group at the strategy factory, right? Because there are so many activities, so many games, so many competitions that you participate in that teaches you different aspects of how to properly run your business. Now, over the course of these activities, the winning group now would first of all be identified for the month of July at our convention in November. Our convention is by far the biggest high ticket sales event in the country. And what we do is that we bring influential industry experts to talk to businesses about what they have done in the past couple of years to grow their business. So last year we bought Cosmos Medica, we had the first female president of Mauritius in attendance, and a couple of other distinguished individuals. What we're doing this year is that you get to have like a picture frame and brief interaction with these guys at the convention. If your group turns out to be the winning group at the convention, at the strategy factory for this month, right? My question then would be, if you would like access to the strategy factory, or you'd like us to have a full conversation with you to help you understand how the strategy factory would be a good fit for your business, or how we can tailor it to help you solve the different challenges that you're probably experiencing in your business right now, practically. I'm not talking about what you read in the books, right? I'm talking about consultants that have about 10 years experience in helping businesses grow. Then please write your number in the group chat so that Yinka can call you tomorrow and help you in figuring that. Anyone? Would anyone want a one-on-one call? If you like that, kindly drop your number in the chat box. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So would anyone like to have a one-on-one conversation with us about the strategy factory and how we can tailor the strategy factory to fit their business? If you'd like that, please just leave your number in the chat box and we'll start a conversation with you tomorrow. All right, then. I guess that's in the... Okay, Mr. Abel, I see your number. All right, Mr. Abel, we'll get across to you tomorrow. I also see your message, Olamide. All right, another person likes to have a one-on-one conversation with us about the strategy factory. Anyone? All right, thank you. I'm gonna give us a little bit more time. It's maybe 2 minutes for us to decide. All right, I guess that would be all. In the absence of no other person indicating interest, does anyone have any question or any contribution? Because if we don't, this will be the end of the intro class for the Lim Simple Strategy Factory. Anyone?
Yes, hello.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, I'm interested, but I'm trying to leave my number now, so I couldn't
Okay,
get
just
the.
just drop your number. Call the number so I can write it out for you. So it's fine.
All right, 080
Okay,
35
35,
45
45,
69
69,
79.
79. Mr.
Yes,
Ali, right?
yes, yes.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
All right,
You get a call tomorrow from us.
all right. Please, the if I prefer to get that call in the evening time,
Okay. What time works for you, sir?
in the evening around 6 or around
6.
this time.
Okay. This time works, right? Inka, does this time work for you?
Hello?
Yes, it does.
All right, great. So we'll have a call scheduled for 7:30. Does this work for both of
Yes,
us? Perfect.
yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Inka, this works too for you, right?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Yinka, do you have anything to say to round up?
No, that will be all from me.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So someone else says that they want their call by 8 p.m. Can we please? My network again. Can everyone hear me?
We can now.
All
I've
right.
not.
Great. Okay. So again, thank you everyone for joining, and have an incredible week tomorrow. Do take care of yourself and have a beautiful night. Bye bye.